reason I like the fact that I can be a potty mouth is because in certain ways I think I'm too much of a soft touch. I'm too much of a pushover. Most of the time I stand up for myself and stand up for the underdog. In fact, nearly all of the time. The only time that as an adult I have trouble doing this is when I'm doing something solely for myself. For example, another case in point, I guess I'm going to have to stop using case in point. Oh, by the way, since this is a brook of consciousness, it's like a stream of consciousness, only a brook babbles more, and you also get splashed more, and that's okay. Plus, I think there's more grass near a brook, but in any event, and on the other hand, besides having different fingers and a different ring, in this stream of consciousness slash brook of consciousness babbling piece that I'm talking about, I am absolutely fine with you saying like, however, like, you know, like if you want to like say like, it's like totally okay, you know, like it doesn't like, you know, like bother me. I don't expect you to be worried about your grammar when you're speaking to me. I never expect that of anyone I'm talking to in a social situation. It's one of the stereotypes that is connected with being an English teacher. At least when I used to go to parties, I'd be at a party and somebody would say, huh, you're an English teacher, guess I better watch my grammar, huh? And I sort of look sheepish and sort of smile at them, but really... Sorry, I hope I paused for coughing that didn't cause any distraction. Oh, good golly, this sounds nasty, I better stop. For my next trick, I guess I'm going to have to learn how to pause the video, so instead of having to restart every time that I have to stop, I can just pause and pick up where I left off. Yeah, there's a steep learning curve going on here. Okay. People who say, I have to watch my grammar around you, I usually look sheepish and sort of laugh and giggle, but and try to play off their joke as if it were the first time I'd ever heard it, even though it's been 565,912 times that I've heard it. But gosh golly, you know, you're the first person that I ever heard it from delivered quite that way. So you the man, or you the woman, or you go girl, or you go boy, or you get you some, it's your birthday, or however you want to go about that. But these are the people that will correct my speech most often. And so I start throwing mistakes out there to give them something to do and to give me something to do to see how many I can sneak past them and how many they actually pick up on. But that's neither here nor there. That's just a game you play when you're alone, sort of like reading the street signs backwards when you're driving on a long trip. So you can say like or not like or however you like, you know, like if you like want to do that. Getting back to our flaws and why I like my flaws, or a few of my flaws. The potty mouth flaw I like because sometimes in some ways I'm a soft touch, and although I will do many things for other people, I do not always do the same kinds of things for myself. Case in point, and that's, you see, it was like a whole big tangent. We went all around because I said case in point again, which reminded me that you had said like, and you said it was again, although I didn't notice that it was again, but you said like, and you noticed that you had said like, and so you started commenting about like, and so I said case in point, and I realized I had said case in point again, and actually it was like the 5th time now, I think, and so that reminded me, and that took me on this tangent, and you might think that I would get lost, but no, actually I'm gonna bring it back around eventually, and I pretty much always do. Case in point today, I'm sick. I'm really sick. I have not been this sick in years. It's not life-threatening or anything like that. It's just really, really uncomfortable. I've got sinus infection and tonsillitis and body aches, and I've been beaten with a sneaker or a shoe or something, as we've already discussed in detail earlier. But I didn't call in sick today, because calling in sick would mean that all of my classes would be canceled, which means that all of the parents and students would be inconvenienced. It would also mean that the school would have to refund tuition for all of the classes, which would run to probably a couple $1,000s. because I have quite a few classes today. And so, even though I'm feeling really sick, I weighed my own feeling of comfort and my own sense of self against the financial blow that the school would take and the inconvenience of my students and the parents, and thought about I just basically decided that it would be better for me to take the hit rather than the school or the students to take the hit. And I do this a lot. I do it too much, I've been told. Which brings us to the potty mouth. However, even though I do this sort of martyring thing too often, it doesn't mean I don't express myself in vivid language. So if somebody bothers me, somebody ticks me off, I call a spade and an effing shovel is an effing shovel, and I just say it clear and precise and exact and offensively. And I watch myself around children, of course. I watch myself around women almost always. Yes, it's a double or triple standard, but I'm sorry. I grew up being taught that chivalry was a good thing rather than a sexist, misogynist thing. Maybe I'll learn a better way. Maybe I won't. But I'm still gonna hold doors and pull out chairs and lug heavy things about for the females who may happen to be in my life at whatever point. Anyway, so that's a flaw I like, and I've got about 3 minutes. I'm going to try to cut these two tapes together. Let me see. Flaws versus character. I really liked your video. I'm really glad that you recorded that for me. I am feeling pretty miserable. And so as soon as I finish this, I probably am going to go to bed. I'm going to see if I can splice these two together into one longer video instead of putting it up in 3 parts with a 1-minute piece and a 2-minute piece. But in any event, thank you for sharing. I will probably look at your videos in more detail and comment on them definitely this weekend as I'm feeling a bit better. Right now I think I'm going to get something to drink. If I had honey, I would get some, and if I had tea, I would get some tea with honey. As it is, I think I'm just going to get some hot water. Thank you very much. It was wonderful to see your hands and hear your voice and see your teapot. Have a wonderful evening, or morning, or afternoon. Have a wonderful everything. Anything you get your hands on. Take 2, they're small. I love you, Cheyenne. Bye.